Well, this is going to be a time kill video because the landlord where I live is selling the place and they're having an open house, and because of the COVIDs, they don't want any of the tenants around. So I got an hour and a half to kill, so we'll probably go to the mall. Right now I am at Carter Park. They set up their Christmas decorations. I had a bit of a wind event yesterday and that got knocked down. I'd do the good deed of the month, but this alone is just so heavy. There's no way I could put that back up. Do my good deed of the month. So I believe this is the first time that I'm actually using mobile data. So got about an hour and a half to kill. 12:06. I just want to see something. Oh, of course you're going to force me to change a setting off-site. Have to kill the stream to change a setting. Yeah, there may be a point that there'd be a temporary break in the video so I could change the brightness settings so it's not obvious what I'm doing. That is, if there's actually a signal where I'm going. Because the city of Leominster is known as home of the 0G network. And I zoomed in somehow. And that's too far. And that's too much the other way. I hate the zoom on YouTube. Let me just... good enough. Wish I could hold this in a way that I don't have to worry about touching the screen, but so right now I have to kill some time. So we're gonna head to the mall, which isn't that bad of a walk. And I don't think there's going to be, as I mentioned, any real signal down there because there isn't. So remember once during the Christmas time, the Christmas holiday, I decided to keep the stream living and walk through the Sears, and if you didn't get a bunch of pixelated garbage, you got nothing. Well, in the beginning in there, that blown over Christmas tree, I mean, they tried to keep that thing down, but the wind was too much yesterday. Just walk around a little bit, see how depressing all that Whitney Field has got. I swear this is still too zoomed in. It's really hard to set the zoom on, not on this phone, but YouTube. Because even with the other phone before this one, it's like you barely pinch or barely spread your fingers and you go from either one extreme to the other. You spread your fingers out like a micron, you suddenly have a 360-degree view of the world. And just barely, ever so slightly pinch your fingers. No, pinching is to zoom out. And that would be the result. And spread your fingers a micron, suddenly you're looking at everything at the atomic level. Whereas Facebook, you have to do pinching in and zooming out multiple times. I think like 4 or 5 times to go the full range, versus not even a quarter inch, or maybe more like a half centimeter. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, we'll not be crossing here, be going down here. Actually, we might be crossing here. Just not here. Alright. Of course, as soon as I'm ready to cross. The other side stops, and then the other side comes along. There we go. Let's get on the sidewalk. I did not ask to cancel the live stream. Hello, Tom. I think the wind might have taken that out too. Let's try and zoom this out. Oh, wow, it actually did. It's also the one negative Nancy I have about these Samsung phones with the display that goes around the edges is it's nearly impossible to control because you're always touching the screen. Although I don't think it works. No. I know if I'm using the camera as a standalone, I set it up so the volume controls can zoom in and out. And we got someone illegally riding a bike on Anyway, this used to be National Grid gas. And that is somebody illegally riding on the sidewalk. Used to have a big building right there. Looked like it was from like the early 1900s. They still have some kind of operation. You can hear the gas hissing through there. No, almost not know who owns this. So it's still a bit windy of these walk-arounds. Glad you do. Although we're going pretty much where we've went before. I think we went the long way. No, we took the shortcut when we did it. I think we'll go the long way because, as I mentioned, I repeat things now and then because people come in and out of these streams. That for the second time since I've lived where I am, the owner is selling, so they want the place empty for an open house because of the COVIDs. So from 12 to 1:30 Eastern, they don't want anyone in there except the realtors and prospective buyers. So like I said, this is the second time it's been sold since I lived there. And this guy that owns it snatched up 4 properties. Well, he had a big vacant mill building Then he bought where I live. Then he bought the house next to us. And then they bought a house that's next to the big brick building across the street. So all the four buildings are literally next to each other. And I guess my theory is that the cost of construction materials have gone so far through the roof that he had to sell our building. And here's a crosswalk. I may have to hold the camera differently if someone's awaiting and they're not. One thing I wish is YouTube would allow the camera to use its image stabilization. But, this I may have to just hold and, hold on here. All right. Evergreen Cemetery. I don't know what they've been doing here for the past few years, but they dug that out. I wonder how much signal is. Well, it says 5 bars. But I've also known that just because it says 5 bars doesn't mean we got 5 bar quality video here. And if we took the shortcut, which was right now, that's good. Behind those buildings over there, there's a street that dead ends. And we cut across. And we get in the back door, so to speak. But we're going in the what originally was the front. Although not the original driveway, because back when the mall was new, it used to be all the way up. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, because, I don't know, maybe AT&T finally put a tower out this way. Because when we get to here, a lot of people say it drops out and it's very pixelated. So I'm surprised if it's still working. And if the camera goes adrift, I'm watching where I'm going, not the camera. So I am planning to do another video of the state of the mall Whitney Field Christmas Eve during the so-called high, that big rush near the end of the day. I'm not going to wait till the near end of the day. Typically wait till like 3 o'clock or so, because unless things have changed for the worse, like the regular hours. They typically stay open till 6 on Christmas Eve, then that's it. And this mall is not doing very well. I remember it used to have closing hours of 9 or 10 o'clock. Now it's like 6 or 6. Yeah, around 6 o'clock. Since most of what's left inside closes up, then they just close the thing up. Another medical company moved in there, St. Mass Imaging. Used to be a Fallon. Then they built a much bigger place at our Wally World on the which is next to the Lancaster border. You know what? I think perhaps, I know it might be a little daring. Let's try and walk in the original Searstown Mall entrance. Because we got to cross some busy roads. Then you can see how pretty much everything else is doing just fine. There's still some trees surprisingly leaves. Way past mid-December. Well, not really way past. It's actually not even mid-past technically. See, but it still says it's a strong signal. Like I said, this is where it generally, things hit the fan. And a guy I know used to have a clothing design thing here. Then it became a dog center, and now it's a vacant spot. Then my friend moved to where, if you saw the video of the fireworks for the Starburst in, about 6 months ago, he had a shop, he moved his shop there, and then suddenly it disappeared, not knowing that he once again moved. So it's good to know that watching his place go away wasn't because he went out of business. The 110 Grill. It's kind of a fancier comfort food place. It's a bit expensive and a bit lacking in portions, but really isn't that bad. This is what's now considered the main entry to the mall, but this is not the original main entry. As at one point, none of this stuff existed. Now we got the cops. So something happened over there. And it's hard to see. I don't want to play with the zoom because, like I said, touch it and it goes you're either looking at microscopic stuff or you zoomed so far out you can see everything. All right, there's a Popeyes there. New DQ Grill and Chill there. A bunch of stuff there. And the funny thing about the DQ is this is Fitchburg Leominster's area's third attempt at a Dairy Queen. All right, more on crossing the street than caring about, what the phone's pointing. All right. And we have D'Angelo's, which is think of it as a Boston version of Subway, except unfortunately the whole chain is tanking, and this one's going to be closed. Used to be a Mexican restaurant there. It was torn down. The owners moved, made a different restaurant in a different part of the city. Now there's a CVS there. Used to be a second generation McDonald's there. Then they knocked it down and built one of these one of these middle-aged depressing shoebox models. I like that term shoebox. I don't remember if it was Andrew Reams that said it or somebody else. The Chipotle and mattress firm used to be a store where you could buy tile for your house. The Firestone that's always been there. And one of my more popular videos on YouTube, you can kind of see what it is there. A friend of mine came to visit me and stayed there at the Motel 6, which was pretty nasty. And their stairs were held together with shipping tape. I mean, the physical stairs were okay. And then Burger King followed suit and turned their McDonald's wannabe 60s design into their version of the depressing middle-aged shoebox. Except theirs has a little more color to it. But unlike the McDonald's, that's the original building. And then way over there is Chopsticks, a Chinese restaurant. Very big, very popular. Then there's let me get off the road here. Then right there's a Denny's. That's always been there. And then there's a strip mall there with some Papa Gino's, which is a Boston-based pizza chain. It's actually pretty good. I haven't eaten there in a long time though. Sears Auto Center. Alright, and this was the original entry. This road was the original entry. I believe actually this Mill Street was also part. I mean, it had already existed. So they just extended it slightly and it turned left into the mall. And I am not able to cross over. Surprisingly, I just want to cross over. Because we're not going in the original direction. I would like to go in the original direction. I'm surprised that there's so many people. Now, all these exterior businesses like this PetSmart, which I forget when that was added. Now, can I just get across? Wait, can I just get across? And at some point, the camera changed. Okay, we can switch. We can switch cameras. Thank you. At some point, when I don't know if it was when I crossed the street. Hello, LMFA Memo Par. That used to be a simple Searstown Mall sign. Then they replaced it with that, but it was seafoam green and said Searstown Mall. Then when it became Whitney Field, they changed the color, put all that on it. Can we get across? Holy cow, we finally get a chance. And safe enough I can do this until he came along, but it's only one. and no one's coming this way. And over there, did it flip again? Okay, that might be too close. Yeah, that's too close. That's too close. Good enough. Hard to see, but that's the market basket. Where is it? It's some bright market basket right there. That's where we do one of these days. I'm hoping to bring back the day before Thanksgiving grocery shopping at the zoo series. With the coronavirus, it's just not ideal. And this was the front entry to the mall. That Macy's never existed. And that furniture store was a grocery store. In fact, it was a Demoulas, which became Market Basket when they built that building. And then next to it was a Bradley's, which is now a leveled thing. Here's the dead Sears. So whole properties was saying, yeah, we gotta move. Whole property says I gotta fixing things. It still says I got a strong signal. So I guess this is their idea of fixing things. We just paint the doors brown. And they didn't paint all of them brown. In fact, that one that I showed you where it was destroyed, they never fixed it. And you can't really see in. Except here. And for the 2 years at this, well, yeah, actually for the fall of 2020 and last year, this was home of Spirit Halloween. Like I said, if the camera switches, it's really hard to see in bright. And if we do go in, I'm going to have to darken the settings so that they don't see what's going on. But I'm going to need to know if it's all still working. I mean, this looks kind of yuck. I mean, we see cars over here, so... Alright, so I got another hour to kill. I guess they didn't finish their big renovation, as most of the doors over here are still their original metal. For all my life till 2020, that was always a store. From 67 to 2020. And like I said, this dead Macy's was put in after Bradley's disappeared, which we'll get to. Yeah, Bradley's was mostly a northeastern, small or semi-decent sized northeastern chain of department stores. It was one of those discount ones, not like Dollar Tree or stuff like that, but some relatively large names and some bigger ones that are less expensive. and names that were obviously less expensive as well. And I think it came except it died way before Kmart. I don't know what she's cheering for. Hey, I might even do that for the actual video. So you're kind of getting a sneak peek. So he's still nice and strong. This is one of those rare moments that I ask for feedback. So like I said, at this point it's usually Blockyville. Maybe this phone's got a really good antenna on it. Or they actually put in it, or AT&T actually put an antenna in. So is our signal still good right now? All right. I'm still awaiting with bated breath to see if we're in Blockyville yet. And this gap here from this building to the mall, which doesn't have the striped texturing, is where Bradley's was. Knocked it down, made a big parking lot. Not a very full parking lot. All right, Tom, thank you. Maybe we can do a walkthrough. However, I'm going to have to kill the live stream temporarily so I can dim the display, because the last thing I need is people to realize what I'm doing. Although, I might have to zoom it all the way out so we can kind of aim down, but you can still see stuff. And like I say, the stripe texture is somewhat original. When it was still Searstown, it was that white brick with the hexagons. It was a popular thing in the 60s and 70s. Then they laminated it over with this tan brick, but the siding was the ever popular color of shopping malls, dark sea foam. Yeah, sea foam, easy for me to say. Dark sea foam green. And then when another company took it over and made it Mall of Whitney Field, they changed it to dark brown. And that Whitney Field entrance there was the entrance into the Bradleys, which we are currently walking through. If Bradleys still existed. And one thing we're going to probably also have to do is kill the microphone for copyright. It's really hard to point out. Actually, it isn't. That part of the mall right there, that used to be the end. This was all a late 80s edition. That ending used to be a department store called R.H. White's. It was kind of like a Macy's, except let's say Kmart meeting Macy's, because it didn't look like a expensive place, but it was one. My finger and JCPenney loading docks. Funny, the wind is actually supposed to be coming from that side. Where is it? That side, but I'm still getting blown around a bit. All right, we're not going to do a total walkthrough of the pennies, but yeah, still a strong signal, albeit 4G. So what I'm going to do is, as I don't want to make it obvious, darken the screen and zoom it out all the way so you can still see everything. So yeah, everything will be a bit distorted, but then I won't give away what I'm doing. Won't be doing it at this entrance. I'm going to turn the corner and do it from there. Hello, exploring New England elevators. Mall Whitney Field, Leominster, Mass. Right off of Route 2 and I-190. In both cases, in the Mechanic Street exit will take you here. And on Route 2, there's another, Route 13 exit will take you here. Alright. I can't see a thing. This is also where I'm going to do some changing of things. Kill the audio. Well, that's once we get inside. Watch, someone in this place is probably watching this now. And pretty much blow everything. Alright. Getting down right now because we're heading to where we're going to be going. And there's somebody right there. And I want to respect their right. Alright. Hang tight. We will be back. I gotta make some adjustments. Alrighty, we are back. Hello, everybody. Oink. Alright, we are zoomed out. I got this dark. Let's just see what happens. I'll pretend to be texting. I am not wanting to cancel the stream. Alright, I don't hear any music right now. Sandaline is pretty busy, but remember, I'm gonna be it's zoomed out and pointed down slightly so it looks like I'm not live streaming, getting securities. Oh, looks like the pizza place came back. At one point it disappeared. Actually, I don't know if that's a pizza place anymore. Okay, it looks like it. Yeah, they came back. We still don't know how to run it because Sabaros and everything else only needed the counter space. They didn't need anything else. Sushi bar. Hey, that's new. Dunkin' Donuts is gone. Oh, this store came back. And now the depressing part. Let these kids in front of me go a little bit. Hello to Frank family or whatever. I have the brightness down, so it's hard to read. The text on his phone's pretty clear though. Just very hard to read because I got it way down. So yeah, be able to sneak this in. You know how mall security loves people doing video? Of course, we got one of the cockroaches of the mall just waiting for people to go by. The Bath and Body Works. Oddly enough, we still have a Claire's. So give me an idea. The mall was here, this. And it was the Sears. This wasn't a thing. There was a Bradley's here. And this was down here. And this didn't exist. In fact, this block right here, which I'm not cutting through perfectly fine, but yeah, this block right here was R.H. White's. Then this expansion was made, which looks a lot smaller on the drawing than it really is. And then late 80s, that side was put on. This was the first quote-unquote expansion, because this was R.H. White's, a department store, and they just put a bunch of inline tenants there. Well, they made this fairly bright. I'm not going to go too much further because there's nothing really to see. That's the Macy's that used to be there. All right. Yes. And we switched again. All right. Yeah, probably when we get outside, I'll brighten it up, then I can actually read things that I'm seeing. Apparently it was zoomed out. And music. All right. It's obscured enough. It was a bit too quiet in that section. In fact, the R.H. White's is where this quote-unquote arch begins. Like I said, we got to do a lot of aim downs here. It's not like when I have the other camera that can be hidden away.
Big stuff, big stuff.
And here's the other quote-unquote arch where R.H. White's ended. And this section used to go way deeper. And this was the Chuck E. Cheese. That was a Chinese place, and that was the original location of Sbarro's, where that other pizza place is now. Oh wow, they did shrink the store down. Again, we'll give you a better video when we do the Christmas Eve walkthrough. Now, most of these Burlingtons shrunk down. The one I used to visit in Billerica to kill time waiting for the duck pin house to open they shrunk down a long time ago. Yeah, this store is actually pretty busy. There it is. There's the end. I guess it's a stock room now. Although something hardy, like I said, I got the brightness all the way down, so it's really hard to read. Well, they still got the fitting rooms wide open. It's just funny that they blocked everything else off. I'm wondering if the chain just decided to get rid of a warehouse and just store everything locally. Oh, I can hear the music. That's not good. Well, thanks for pointing out there was no voice. I don't know when, but yeah, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't. Literally did not tell me that it was muted. Because now I'm going to mute it. Now it's unmuted. And it will tell me that it is. And it would stay on. It didn't stay on. In fact, let me just do it one more time just to be sure. Yeah, it flat out dropped that I was muted. That is not the first time that has happened. And it's definitely not the phone because the other one did it. That time I did it because they thought everyone wanted to hear their music. Hello, was that? No, I don't want that one. I want that. Oh, Dave P. Welcome, and we're leaving. And my neighbor lets their dog run loose. All the way out here. God forbid it gets run over. Anyway, that'll be it. It was just a time killed so I could kill time before I'm allowed back in my apartment because of open house. So anyway, George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed the walk through the mall, the walk to and from, and finding one of the 2 bricks that my father has. 2. You know what? Before we end it, there's only one other place I can think of that I think has the bricks. Yeah, that is my neighbor's dog. They're very inconsiderate. And I just walked around some other dog's poop. 2. Alright, so 46, which I thought I read 84, and oh, that was horribly wrong. 15, 1, okay, here we are, 2. Oh, there's the other one, right away. Very hard to read. That's the one my aunt bought. And we saw the other one that the family bought over there. Alright, now we're going to say that we're done. George F551 saying, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. And I now, once again, remember, and then we'll forget, where those 2 bricks are.